Yeah. Unknown Brain, Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games, and I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. No, you did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say
Yeah, my life is lovely now, I'm focused on me. You said you were about to die, I guess the car is on E. But see, I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you flying and see you looking down and out, coming to me crying, saying you miss having me around. Gave you chances and you blew it, you so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music. I'm saying
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games, and I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. No, you did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say
Got a shot.
Look,
Oh, the game is broken.
yeah, the turrets aren't like I don't know if this is intentional, but it's broken. Look at that. Stupid, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, YouTube? Master Look 5 here, coming at you live from the PlayStation Network. So, yeah, let's talk about the DLC. I got a lot of things to talk about today, and I hope you can bear the sound of my voice, but you might learn some things and you might know some of these things. We'll start off with the Catalyst Mask with the new DLC. So, I don't know what's going on with the Catalyst Mask, but I have completed that mission, the Army Terminal, about 20 times myself, and then a few more with groups, and the mask never dropped for me. Apparently, other people are having similar results. It's almost like the devs are holding back this mask because you can't tell me the percentages. It just doesn't make sense. Between a friend of mine and myself running it, I mean, we probably ran it combined solo 50 times and the mask didn't drop. Now, I happen to get the mask, because a friend of mine who's very lucky with really good RNG, he got several of them and he gave me one in one of our runs. So, but I don't think I would have gotten it, if it wasn't for him. And what's interesting is a lot of the players that are getting it are PvE players on my friends list. They rarely go into the DZ. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. The devs are just holding it back. I have no idea, but this is like complete bullshit with this mask. Um, and even when you get the mask, right? When you get this catalyst mask, it's bugged apparently because you're not getting the full weapon damage stacks. It's supposed to give you 24% weapon damage and status effect at 12 stacks, but that's bugged. Apparently the bonus armor and reload speed that might be bugged as well. The one thing that is working is the stabilizer. While burning, you can maintain ADS without disruption. So that's what I wanted the mask for. I think a lot of PvP players want that because we're fighting our iron lung players who are putting you on burn. And what's interesting is it's not really the burn that kills me. It's the fact that these players prevent me from ADSing. So a lot of the times, if I'm fighting with a bighorn, I'm right about to kill that bighorn player, and just a second more or 2 seconds more, they would go down. But because they set me on fire, it prevents that. Well, this mask can resolve that for me, who I don't play with iron lung. But nonetheless, the mask is bugged. Okay, let's talk about the uses for this mask. I have altered my armor regen bighorn build because it's kind of like the first thing that I wanted to take a look at. What is the incentive of me running this mask if I'm giving up a catharsis mask? Catharsis is a really strong mask. It's hard to give that up because you're getting up to 45% weapon damage, right? And you're getting a healing cloud. So it's hard to give that up. However, with an armor regen bighorn build, my version, as you know, is 3-piece Golan. I usually run Adrenaline Rush on my backpack and let's say Bellstone with Perfectly Efficient or Unbreakable and the Murakami knee pads. But in order to make this mask work, the catalyst, if I have to replace the catharsis, I'm losing 45% weapon damage, up to 45% weapon damage. So my thought was, how do I get it back? How do I get that weapon damage back while maintaining this catalyst? Well, two things had to change. The first thing that has to change is the backpack. I will still use Golan to keep it within the Golan brand set, but instead of Adrenaline Rush, I'm gonna run Perfectly Wicked. Perfectly Wicked makes sense for this because you get 18% weapon damage for 27 seconds when you put somebody on status. What's the best way to put players on status? Well, it's not really Bleed Hive. Even though Bleed Hive is good for status builds, the best way, in my opinion, especially in the DZ, is just to run a Jammer Pulse. Because as soon as you jam, you have instantly Wicked, and depending on how many players are nearby when you jam through the walls in the DZ or distance, if I quickly hit my Jammer Pulse, I'm instantly going to get Wicked, and look at that, full stacks of Catalyst right there. So I don't need to use Backfire if I don't want to, the Backfire SMG. I get full stacks right there just by jamming. And the good thing about Perfectly Wicked is that even though it's for 27 seconds, every time you hit that jammer pulse, you can reset the Wicked. So technically, you see that icon, it's still up, right? Every time you jam. If you time it correctly, you can have that 18% weapon damage up for a long time. So I'm going to use Perfectly Wicked. The other good thing about the Catalyst Mask is that it comes with Hazard. This allows me to increase my hazard protection now. So I'm going to use Perfectly Wicked, Armor Regen Hazard, and then Bleed. I'm going to talk about the mod Bleed, why I have the mod Bleed, but for now, that's the first change. So 3-piece going with Murakami, Perfectly Efficient or Unbreakable Bellstone, and then Catalyst. Let's look at the stats. So I have 70% hazard protection. So I'm getting 18% damage back from Perfectly Wicked because I'm losing damage from the catharsis, right? But where do I get the rest of the damage that I'm losing? Well, when this mask is not going to be bugged and fixed, at 12 stacks, you're supposed to get 24, right, percent weapon damage and 24% status effects. So 24% plus the 18% from Wicked is 42%. So that's pretty close to what Catharsis would give me at 45. So essentially, if I'm fighting in the DZ and I hit this Jammer Pulse and there's, let's say, 6 players nearby or 7, I should be around near max stacks with Perfectly Wicked and I'm getting my 42% damage, right? So I'm not losing anything. I just got it all back. Plus, I get to ADS now. So if you set me on fire, my burn resistance is 70%. Okay, so I'm going to allow you to set me on fire a little bit, but that fire is not going to last long, and I'm still going to ADS right through it. So all you Iron Lung players, get ready because you're about to get ADS down with a bighorn when you try to set me on fire. Now, let's talk about why I put bleed. I put bleed mods. I put 3 bleed mods to give me 100% bleed resistance. Why do I do that? Because I can already anticipate there's going to be a lot of players when this mask works, they're going to go for that 24% status effects. They're going to make a status damage build. And the best way to status you is they're going to drop bleed hives at your feet. This is typical in the Dark Zone. They're going to run around, drop a bleed hive, and then have all that damage. Well, guess what? No, you're not. Not with me. I have 100% bleed resistance. So that bleed is going to hit me. It's not even going to touch me. I don't care about the foam because I'll get out of the foam quickly. The burn, the disorient, none of that will matter. Even the shock won't matter. It's the bleed that matters. So that's why I decided to put 3 mods that give me up to 100% bleed resistance. They say you can go up to 90 and it's good enough. I don't even want to bleed, so I'm just going to leave it at 100 for now and see. The problem is I can't fully test it because it's bugged. You're not getting the damage, you're not getting the bonus armor as far as I know, and the reload speed. So, but this build is ready to go. So, hazard headshot, bleed resistance, hazard headshot, holster hazard headshot, Murakami knee pads, right, with hazard, and then the perfectly wicked. And this will be my updated Catalyst Bighorn build for armor regen that I will try out. Having said that, the second build that I created was a healer. This will be my testing build for healing in the DZ. And I am using the measured assembly gear set, which gives you skill haste, 60% repair skills, 40% explosive resistance, and then the 4-piece. I'm not going to read all this. All you need to know is that the overcharge, okay, is disabled in the Dark Zone. As far as I know, it's disabled, but you can still get up to 6 skill tiers with this. How you get 6 skill tiers is the more players that are near to your hive or your smart cover, each player gives you a skill tier. So when you build this, you're going to build this for a team of 4. At least I am. So that means with the card pistol, okay, I will have 3 skill tiers while I'm holding the pistol. The remaining of the 3 skill tiers will be provided when the 3 other players are near my hive or in the range of the hive that's healing or in the range of the smart cover. Yes, I'm going to run smart cover. So this will go up to 6 skill tiers. Now look what you get for 6 skill tiers. Aside from the healing, right, which you get a lot of healing. Look at how much armor I have. I'm running a 1.8, which will be a 6 skill tier in a 4-man team healing hive. You got the traditional empathetic resolve, repair skills, skill haste. I rolled armor on every other piece with repair skills and skill haste mods to give myself a little bit more skill haste. Okay, so all these pieces ready to go with the card pistol. Let's talk about smart cover. Smart cover, this new skill. There's 2 variants of smart cover. There's the fortified and then there's the precision. The fortified gives you at 6 bonus armor, 60%, right? But in the DZ, I think this is a throwaway. The fortified for me with the bonus armor is a bit of a throwaway. The post resistance, I don't really care. To me, I would get more value from the precision smart cover because the precision smart cover at 6 skill tiers gives you 27% damage to targets out of cover. And that does not include the fact that there is mods for this smart cover. I want to show you this mod that I got for the smart cover. I have bonus armor, but then I have another mod, which I don't know why it doesn't show up here. Oh, it's probably because I equipped it. But if you look at my smart cover mod, look at this mod that I got. Ballistic relay node, 7% damage to targets out of cover. And it's not even max. So I'm predicting the max is 8%. This is a crazy mod. So I'm farming the mods now because if you're telling me at 6 skill tiers, 27% plus 8% total, let's just say, that's 35% damage to targets out of cover in addition to what you're currently running on your build that has damage to targets out of cover. Most capacitor builds have like 42% damage to targets out of cover. So 42 plus the 35, just think about that. You're almost running 80% damage to targets out of cover when sitting in smart cover. As far as these numbers go, that's double the damage. That's double multiplicative damage than what your current capacitor build does with Petrov gloves and Fox's per knee pad. So you're already providing heals to your team. I think that the bonus armor is a throwaway. Why would I trade the bonus armor for double the multiplicative damage plus the empathetic resolve weapon damage, right? There is no way. So, in my opinion, this is the one that I would go for if I'm healing in the DZ and fortifying my teammates. I would give them damage, 100%. Combine that now, everything I said, you put on the birdie backpack, which gives you even quicker revives. It gives you damage resistance. And again, the overcharge, I believe, is disabled in the dark zone, so you're not going to get the overcharge, but it doesn't matter. You're already getting everything you need from a combat medic. You can pick people up instantly. You can decently heal them quickly. You're giving them more damage, and you're giving them double the damage with the smart cover, right? This is like the ultimate healer, in my opinion. One of the new 2.0 healer build. Obviously, I want to test it. I don't usually run healer, but this is crazy the way this is. Because look at my armor, 1.8 million armor. We're not talking like a 900k healer. We're talking 1.8. So I will test this build out, and I took some time to make it. It's fun. And this is PvE as well. So PvP and PvE works for both. All right. The last build I want to quickly talk about before I move on to the next topic is the new gear set for pistol damage. I made this build as a PvE build just to test it and run around one-shotting all the NPCs. And basically, the way this build works is you've got the Douglas mask, weapon handling, headshot. Then you got this new gear set, imminent armaments. So you want to get Headhunter for PvE, Glass Cannon for PvP. Headshot, weapon handling would be ideal, and then headshot. Okay. So 3-piece of these imminents. I have a God Roll backpack, headshot, weapon handling, headshot, vigilance. Again, this is PvE and PvP, perfect backpack. And then the gloves, headshot, weapon handling. So that's my 3-piece. Then for PvE purposes, I use the claws out, pistol damage, headshot. Don't really care about the melee. And then the Turmoil Seska knee pads. These suckers are crazy because you shoot one NPC, and even though it says 50% of the damage will be dealt to another, when you look at the damage numbers, let's say I shoot one NPC for 14 million, that other NPC gets also hit for 14 million. So I don't know why they said 50%, if it's bugged or not, but it looks like both NPCs are getting the same damage. And I'll just run through the mission, headshotting everything with a pistol, and then like 2 NPCs will be dying every time I kill one. You can use the police magnum, or if you have a harvest with determined, that would be the best one to use. Now, for PvP purposes, I did see somebody running a build similar to this. This is PvE, but for PvP, there's a couple things you should change. First of all, you would change the gloves and the knee pads. You would put Petrov gloves with headshot damage, and then Fox's pair of knee pads with headshot damage, and then the holster you would put the armament, the imminence armament. So you would have 3-piece with the backpack, holster, chest piece, and then these two pieces would be Petrov and Fox's pair knee pads, and then you would use the Regulus for PvP. But this is more of a PvE build. It does shred through a lot of content. It's fun to use, but it also gets boring. So this is the third build that I have made for now, and I'm testing it. Um, let's talk about the bugs in the game as well. Like for example, there is you saw from the clip that the DZ turrets, right? The DZ turrets are basically, I don't know, they're broken. They're not doing damage anymore. So for all the players who are hiding behind the DZ turrets, which are seeker balls and stuff, be advised, you're not going to get away with that right now. So maybe, obviously, I don't think it's intended. There's no way the devs would just allow the turrets to do nothing but point lasers at you. You saw in the clip I was standing still and the lasers aren't doing anything. So even if you're moving around, that's just a sham at this point. For all of you who like to camp at the turrets, guess what? You're going to have to take a break because they'll kill you inside the turrets now. You got no place to hide, which is kind of hilarious to me because I was wanting something like this for a long time. So, but I'm sure they'll fix it because the devs, they don't want everybody, and then nobody should be griefed in the DZ. So it is what it is, right? But that's broken. What else is broken? First of all, the Brooklyn DLC also, like the whole DLC map is buggy to me. The textiles on the floor don't load properly. There is a weird 9% loading screen when you're coming from the Brooklyn DLC back to Washington. You get stuck at 9%, and then a couple times I had to close the game and it said my game save file was not loading properly. Some crazy shit like that. Thankfully, after I reloaded the game a couple times, it worked. There is a glitch where sometimes you go to your stash and it'll say 0 out of whatever, that it looks like you don't have any stash items. So you just have to log out, log back in, or like exit out the game, and it fixes it. Don't worry, all your shit didn't get deleted. So there is a stash problem there. What else? What else that isn't freaking broken in this game right now? Oh, everyone's doing the project for the Game Pass event, which is the Shepheard thing. Okay, I see a lot of people struggling with the Shepheard thing. I know that you can get 10 exotics every time you level up, right? He's giving you 10 exotics, 10 exotics. You finish the project, it resets again. You can see the new project here in 3 hours and 58 minutes, right? So I know people are struggling with that because they keep matchmaking, but you can't do it with friends and they keep joining friends, or every time they try to join, it doesn't work. Well, let me show you how to do this. A friend of mine showed me where you could cheese it, okay? You don't have to do what everybody does. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a friend, or you're gonna get three friends. You're gonna unfriend each other on the PlayStation app, but you're gonna be in a party chat with each other. You're gonna go to a Lincoln Memorial. You don't have to do heroics. Just pick challenging. The person who's hosting it, okay, is going to turn on backup. So invite everybody into a group as friends. Have the other people leave the group while you're at Lincoln Memorial. When they leave the group, they're gonna load into the shop safe house. I believe it's called the shop over here. They're gonna load in here when they leave the group. Unfriend each other. The person who's going to start it up is going to call for backup while the other three people are either matchmaking at the same time or looking at the SHD tab. And as soon as they see that backup call, you're going to hit up on your D-pad to accept it. And the person hosting it, one person will come in for backup, and then you call in another backup, and again if you have three people, and just go ahead and run Lincoln Memorial, a good amount of times. Let's say 6 or 7 times on challenging. You're all gonna get the people who are doing it are gonna get up to expertise. I mean Shepheard, sorry, expertise. Shepheard 8. Okay, I already finished it. So once you finish, you can go ahead and friend each other. So I'm going to show you how I did it here in a short clip where I'm just inviting a friend to run it with her. All right, here it comes. Yeah, multiple people can join too. So if you had friends, they come in to the safe house with you, you invite them, and because I'm not their friend, all of you can join. 3 people can join and do this. Not just one person. As long as you're in the same session as me in the safe house, it will let you see it. Okay, so with that said, I hope you guys are not getting as frustrated with the catalyst grind. Again, I don't know what they did to that mission, but that stupid mask is really not dropping the way it should be, in my opinion. Either they're holding it back or it's like a super low percentage, like 1% or something, because it's just not dropping. I did the mission 20 times, it didn't drop for me. A friend of mine did it 30 times. It didn't drop for him. So between us 50 times and we still didn't get one drop. It's ridiculous. So I'm really hope you guys get it. The best way to get it is just to have people join you that already have it, and then somebody can share it with you. I mean, if you're doing it solo, it just seems like it's not working, to be honest. There's probably a million other things that I can talk about because I have it in the back of my mind, but I think I covered it enough in this video thus far. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out, Master Luke.